Breaking news from SeaTac Airport, where JetBlue has confirmed a security concern with a flight that just arrived from Long Beach. Looking live, passengers say there was a threat announced for JetBlue flight 1006. SeaTac is now investigating. One passenger sent us this picture here. She says the captain announced they had learned of a threat and police surrounded the plane. 150 passengers are being transported to the terminal by bus. And we just received reports of a separate threat against a Delta flight, which just landed in Seattle after a flight from Phoenix. Northwest Cable News executive producer Jenna Luthman is on board that flight. It's Delta Flight 4741. She says the pilots told passengers there had been a threat against the plane. Again, that plane landed safely. We do want to check in with Jenna, who's standing by on the phone. And Jenna, if you can hear me, what did you hear and what happened as you landed on this plane?
So we basically, nothing was said on our flight. As soon as we landed in Seattle, the pilot came out and told us we couldn't go to the gate, and he wanted to come out and talk to us in person. And he said, you know, in his whole pilot career, he's never experienced anything like this before. And he said that about 3 planes all had separate bomb threats coming into Seattle, and it was a JetBlue flight. There was another flight in front of us, and then our flight as well. He said there might even have been a 4th. So basically, we're just sitting on the plane right now, just kind of waiting. I guess the police are going to come, kind of bring the bomb sniffing dogs and see what's kind of going on with our plane. He says the low credibility. He even kind of jokes that what Patriot fan called in the bomb threat, trying to make light of it. But the fact that there were 3 planes in a row, he said he's never heard anything like that before. So
pretty scary, I bet, for passengers on board. How are people dealing with that?
Everyone seems pretty lighthearted. The pilot's done really well, explaining everything to us. He's kind of going up and down the aisle, making sure, just checking in with everybody, just letting you know it's going to take a while. The police are going to have to do their protocol. They just got the JetBlue passengers over back to SeaTac, and I guess we're the next ones. But we can't go to the gate. We're just sitting on the tarmac waiting. It's more of an inconvenience of anything. He stressed to us it's a low credibility threat, but of course they need to interview all the passengers just to make sure and kind of handle protocol. But like I said, you know, I work in the news. We deal with plane bomb threats a lot, but never do you have 3 in a row like this all heading to one airport. So it is pretty unusual.
Right, Jen, and you know, it was just yesterday that we had 2 similar incidents, both of these planes going to Atlanta, one from Portland, another from Milwaukee. Did pilots give you any indication that they're thinking these could somehow be related?
No, and they're not saying much. And from what I'm seeing, you know, when I'm following NWCN and King 5 on Twitter, they're calling it, you know, SeaTac's calling it a security threat. They're not saying much. So I think our pilot has given us some of the most information than I think SeaTac and other JetBlue's been giving passengers. So I think our pilot's given us the most information. And at this point, it's a bomb threat. Our plane, we don't know. It's the same person. We have no idea. So.